On the Recyard, Women's Prison Podcast, where we are live on the Recyard every Wednesday night. Let's do a weekly recap. Hold on. Oh my gosh. How did this happen?
OMG, I can't hear it.
I tested it and tested it and tested it. Well, we're going to have to do this with no mic.
I'll recap.
No mic. How's this? Y'all, we messed it up. Can y'all hear? Can y'all give me a... Can anyone lip read? There we are. So for those of you that are watching live, thanks for hanging in there with us, and thanks for not leaving. I want to do it for the audio, because can I play our intro again real quick, and we'll make it super fast for that way for the audio. Jake Tyler, I see you, kiddo. Thank you. Thank y'all for hanging in. Sorry. We're going to act real professional for the audio part for, Spotify and Apple Podcast, all them. So let's do this again real quick. On the Recyard, Women's Prison Podcast, where we are live on the Recyard every Wednesday night. Hey, everybody. We are on the Recyard, Women's Prison Podcast. We actually brought the Recyard to Philadelphia, and some technical difficulties happen when you stream live.
It does.
And so that was just one of the small things for those of you that were watching on Facebook or YouTube while we were streaming live. Thanks for hanging in there. You guys, we're so happy to see everybody. Please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, heart. If you're watching from your phone, tap that screen. And we see y'all in the comments. Y'all are awesome, telling us what's going on. I see you, Shaquille Oatmeal, Carrie S, Kim. I love y'all so much. Thanks so much for stopping in and seeing us. So we're in Philadelphia because we are at the Clean Slate Initiative convening. Clean Slate, we'll get into kind of what that means to us and what that means to us as a community as a whole, right? We'll get into that in a minute. I missed introductions because I'm so out of there. So those of you that are watching or listening for the first time, I'm Marci Marie.
I'm Donnie's Cherry.
And I'm Toonchi.
Yeah. Denise Cherry is our guest tonight. And Denise, do you want to
illustrate myself?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Donnie's Cherry. I've been locked up 33 and a half years. I've been out almost 2 years. And by the chance of God, here's my second chance, and I'm giving back.
So Denise and I actually met while we were incarcerated. We were together on the Dr. Lane Murray unit, and we've seen each other get
at
pretty
our worst.
Yeah. easily at
so
our
Donnie's
worst.
going to tell us some stories maybe about you.
What? Who said that?
Oh,
So you just put me on the spot.
You
we get to hear all the dirt on Marci Marie when all the stories you haven't told us yet. For another episode. We'll
it's really not too many.
And you guys see, this is my kiddo. You guys see, y'all can subscribe to his YouTube. He does a bunch of gaming stuff and AI illustrations. And we're not going to tell any stories in front of him later.
She don't want you to see the other side of her.
So let's get to this, and then we'll move on with talking about why we're in Philly. But before we do that, let's do a weekly recap. The least smooth weekly recap. And Toonchi remembers exactly what she did this week. You had a really great week.
Yes, last week I went to New York for a panel with the Texas After Violence Project. It was also with Riker's Memory Project and the Visiting Room. It was called Narrative Threads, and it was incredible women, system impacted women, just talking about their stories and how women's experience is inside and then when you get home. So it was pretty exciting. Never been to New York.
High five.
Yeah.
Well, Denise, I was like, Lord have mercy, put me back on this plane.
You didn't love it?
That's the next place I want to go.
Well, it's exciting. Like Philadelphia and DC, there are a lot of hubbub and a lot of people, but I was like, I like to be able to get in my car and go wherever I want to, smoothly, easily, park easily. It was just a lot of people.
Well, people that live here use public transportation. People in New York City use public transportation.
Honey, it was too much. There's too many people. But it was fun.
Claustrophobic?
Yeah, a little bit. But it was fun. The group that I was with was really cool.
Are the rats big as they say they are?
I didn't see any rats. Lavina did see a rat. She took a pretty good picture of
Really?
one. Yeah.
They say the rats down there are pretty big up there. Yes.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're not afraid.
Yeah, and they're not afraid of humans.
Well, I thank you, Kate Ashley, talking about the video about the heat, suffocating in silence. We actually had that was a donated piece to the organization by an incredible upcoming organization. Right? They're building something. They want to do that kind of stuff for nonprofits and share their knowledge. And I thank you guys for watching that and for supporting that. We appreciate when you guys share our videos like that. That's such important information that was in that video. So and speaking of sharing, you guys know that you can share this show right now while you're watching. And we appreciate that too. We appreciate you guys hitting the like button, subscribing, all of that good stuff, commenting. We see you in the chat. This is literally our favorite night of the week, which is why even when we've been on airplanes all day and all of that, we still make sure that we get here every time that we possibly can. So Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time. This is where we're at with our community here, and we love you all for it. Clean Slate.
Clean Slate. Do you want to tell people what Clean Slate is about?
Well, I'll tell you what. We're here to learn about exactly what Clean Slate is. We have had a little trouble learning exactly what's going on in our state in Texas, so we are looking for more information, right? And we scraped our pennies together. We scraped our pennies together, and registration was not easy to come by, and flights and all of that. And we are here because we care about formerly incarcerated people and the barriers that they face. So I want to definitely talk about that. Some of the things people getting out of prison or people with felony backgrounds face. And we want to learn how the Clean Slate Initiative, which is an initiative to change legislation to make record expungement easier, more accessible. And it's also to possibly, I think that's basically it, right?
Yeah.
So we would love that. Now, one thing, William, thank you for watching from LinkedIn. I appreciate your support, sir. Clean Slate Initiative helps a lot of people, not enough. For example, the three of us sitting here, my wife watching us from over there on the other side of the room, it would not help us, right? My felony was a first-degree felony, and they're not even looking at that. Maybe this is how we get the change started. Maybe this is how we get the ball rolling for the people coming after us. One thing about being a part of the organization that we are in, Lioness Justice Impacted Women's Alliance, is we certainly have members that might benefit from Clean Slate legislation. So if that's the case, we are going to do everything we can to make that accessible and the barriers they face getting out of prison easier.
Yeah, well, you make a great point. Like, as I have a first-degree felony.
I have a first-degree felony.
So we necessarily wouldn't qualify for that stuff, right? But, like you said, it could be an incremental step to work towards that. I'm curious, you and I, Marci, have talked a lot about our barriers. I would love if Donise would share with us, what were the barriers that you faced in your reentry journey?
The barriers I faced was getting somewhere to stay. I can't say that it was the job, because when I got out, I had 3 jobs. So for me, I pushed forward. And I'm still probably having a little struggle with, getting another job and housing. But for the most part, I'm still at the same job I've been at since I got out. And that's been almost 2 years. There's nothing that I can't do in that store. I can do just about anything that a manager can do. I know all the ins and outs. If I need a break, I can go to my boss. Hey, I need these days out, these days out. I get them.
I want to stop you right there, because you shared a barrier with me regarding your job. Because she was able to get that job. Yes. And like she just shared with us, she does all of the duties and has access like she's a manager. Do you have an opportunity to be a manager at that store?
No, because she said my background would not let me be a MOD. A MOD is manager on duty. And I was like, what's the difference? I do basically everything you do. The only thing I don't do is count the money,
right,
and put it and open up the stores. But everything else, I do it. She was like, that wasn't my call. That was the head person's call. And as of last week, I don't know if it was a guard thing or she resigned. So maybe. I don't know if she's gonna go ahead and try to get me as an MOD with the new person that they come in with, or what. But she's adamant about it, because she wanted to get me as an MOD, but they shot her down.
So advancement, I want to ask something else about, you were able to get employment and find employment.
Yes.
would that employment sustain you if you were able to have housing on your own? Like, could
No.
the
No.
pay?
The pay, no. Good thing you did bring that up. You know, I have got 2 raises since I've been there, but they only been 21 cents. It's not even a livable wage. You know, it's enough to pay a phone bill, you know, do odds and ends a little bit, but it's not as you would think it would be for someone who's entering back into society.
Yeah, right. Like sustainable living
Yeah.
wages. And, you know, I remember when I worked at Goodwill, I was busting my ass. Like,
And I
I
doing that.
showed up. I never was late. You know, I'm taking out the trash. And so when the assistant position came open, the shift lead and then the assistant position, they're like, no, like your felony. No, you can't. And I said, so I'm good enough to take out the trash and do all the manager's duties,
But I'm
not good enough to hold the keys, and I'm your best employee.
That part.
Right? Like,
So how did that feel? Honestly, how did that make your worth feel, or how did you feel?
It made me feel like I was back in TDC and I was working for nothing. And nobody looked at your accomplishments. So I told her about it. You know, I explained to my boss, and mind you, again, my boss have been to jail. She has been to jail for domestic violence. But I guess because I have a murder case, it makes it different. It's still part of violence.
How old is your charge?
My charge is now 35 years old.
35 years old. There was a situation that happened when you were 15, 35 years ago, when you were 15 years old,
Yes.
barely in high school is what a 15-year-old is. And an incident happened and someone lost their life. And 35 years later,
it still shows up. It still shows up.
Even though the job says they can only go back 7 years, they go back farther.
Yeah, there's some states that have that 7-year rule.
Right.
And I believed it when I first got out. And I'll tell you why I believed it is because someone at the halfway house, y'all, said Amazon hires felons and they pay really well. Like, in my mind, Amazon was a great place to work. And maybe it is if you're advancing and and doing something. But bottom baseline, Amazon is great for someone that's been in prison because it's better than that. So you think that it's, and so I got that job, the first one I applied to. And then I remember doing videos on social media where people are like asking, how can you get a job? I'm having trouble. And I do this whole video that says, 7-year states. Here's the states in the United States that have the 7-year law, which mean when you go to apply for a job, they're only supposed to look back 7 years.
Right.
And then it was not 6 months later when we realized that was absolutely BS. That's
right.
Yeah, because like me and my boss was talking. She was like, I don't understand what they're so concerned about. They gave you the job. You have no infractions on this job. You do your job and
2
above,
years.
and you've been here the longest. So I'm trying to figure out what is their problem. What are they worried about?
Yeah. You know, at the time in Goodwill, I had a coworker, his name was LD. He had been on a football scholarship, ended up going down the wrong path, and then had gone to prison, and then was, I think, then not on parole, but then on probation. And so he was working with me. We'd got our jobs there and we were working together, and we were, like, man, we'll do well. And he was going to classes and AA with me. And so when it came time to advance, right, when there were positions open, they told both of us, you shouldn't have been hired to begin with, because even though we technically hire felons, we usually don't hire your kind.
Wow.
Right. And so you need to be grateful that you have a job, And he said, you mean to tell me I'm never going to be able to do more here and I've been busting my ass? And they were like, no. And I remember he quit. And he said, this is just like everything else. And LD, he had a lot of stuff going on in his life, but I do believe that was the catalyst. He unalived himself about 6 months after that. Quit going to class, quit doing stuff. And it was just that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
Still not good enough.
Yeah. And that's Crystal. I picked up on that too. You're kind. And that's what people with felony records are the only population that it is legal to disfranchise us.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying we're the only population that gets defranchised,
Mhm,
but we are the only one that is legal to defranchise us, give us, not allow us in housing situations, not offer us jobs or promotions because of our background, not letting us into education facilities because I was recently denied into 2 different schools. 3, they just talked to me funny about it. And so I won't say that they actually denied me, but 2 gave me acceptance letters. 1 actively pursued me, excitedly pursued me, bothered me on the phone several times a day for a week. And then when that background check came back, I got the second letter. I got the first acceptance letter, and then I got the second letter. Sorry, you're out.
So Janice, what would open up for you if your record was, if they could seal your record and you get a clean slate, you get a fresh start out in the world with nobody able to run your background?
That would mean a lot, and it would open up a lot. It would open up housing. It would open up more job opportunities. It would open up quite a bit of things for me. Even though my record hasn't been expunged, it's still sealed because I was a teenager when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it will never be published in the law library in prisons. You can read it online if you want to, but they're only going to give you so much of it because I was a teenager.
But it still shows up on a criminal background check.
Yes, ma'am.
Something you did when you were 15.
Yes.
You have a charge as a teenager, Jennifer. Yours shows up on
So
job application.
my when I made parole, right? So mine was determinate sentencing, so I wasn't certified as an adult. So I went to the juvenile system. So I thought that my charge was going to show up when I got out of adult prison, but it was still sealed. And when I was going to get like housing and rent and stuff, I didn't have a problem because it wasn't showing up. So people were like, well, how are you able to? And I'm like, I don't know. I just applied and got it and, whatever. Boy, that was a big shock. The second time, right? When I get out, because once as a juvenile, once you do an adult charge, it breaks open your record. Your whole record. So then when I got out this time, it's like, oh, there's the juvenile charge, there's the burglary now, there's this. And it's like, I, still struggle with housing for sure, right? Like you could go work at Subway. I worked at Subway, Goodwill. Like, we're hard workers. We'll, like Donnie said, we'll go work 3 jobs. We'll do what you got, you got to do. But if you don't have a place to live and you can't afford to buy something and nobody will let you rent, so you're just going to live in your car? I mean, which I've had friends that have had to do that.
Sure. We've had lots of folks getting out of prison, staying in their car, staying in motels week by week, paying night by night. We have people that have been home for years still living in motels because they can't find anyone to rent. Kim's brought up a great point. Like says, okay, well, what about using a computer, affiliate marketing, working from home, online? She's happy to explore those kind of options with people. And we also know people that find their own way. I mean, I created my own job, and that's we see a lot of people getting out of prison, making their own job, creating their own job. And that's easier when you have good, solid family support, outside support. I was never pressured where I knew I was going to be on the street if I didn't have this income right now.
Right.
And so that gave me some grace to do that.
Yeah. To be able to have a foundation to start with, right? Like the only reason that I was able to be able to keep moving forward is because I had a place to live. I had a vehicle, where it was old, but I had,
It was yours.
it was mine,
It
and
was
I had
yours.
somewhere to start, and I had family that helped. I always say, especially the guys that I was on super intensive supervision with, those gentlemen that have sex offenses
Mhm.
and those restrictions, they're literally living in the woods. Like a church is taking them with a van
Right.
to go get food.
Mhm.
And then they're working on the ministry land out in the woods, right?
Mhm.
Because they have even more restrictions to be
Right.
able to participate in society and grow in a career or to own something,
Yeah. Can I answer this question?
Yeah, please do. Shaquille, I'm going to say it for the record
Mhm.
because we've got people listening that can't see it. So Shaquille Oatmeal, who's been with us since day one, I swear, Shaquille, we love you. Do you think a person should be upfront with a job before they even do a background check?
Well, my opinion, I have been always upfront when it comes to me being locked up, because even if you don't say it verbally, they're still going to do a background check. And if it pop up, then you still not going to get the job because you never put it out there that you was locked up. They're going to find out one way or the other. I know that firsthand experience because when I went to a nursing home and filled out an application, I got the interview.
Mm.
I went in there. When she asked me, have I been locked up? I never said nothing. And she said, well, you didn't answer the question, did you? I said, yeah, I told you no. And I knew I was lying.
Mm.
But when she gave me the paper to go take a piss test, because you have to have a piss test. I've never done drugs, so I don't have a problem with doing piss tests. So my sister took me to the place. I did the piss test. The next day, she called me and told me she found out that I had been locked up and they couldn't give me the job. Other than that, I would have had the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like if you had been upfront, you'd have had it.
I would have had
was
it. But I told her no, and then she found out.
Yeah.
But I've also seen people tell them no, and they never find out until the last minute. They've been having a job for about 2 or 3 years.
Girl, that happened to me.
Yeah.
When I got out the first time, I was going to college and I was working at a restaurant and I was working at the Fairmont Hotel. I love that job. I worked third shift. I used to sleep in the laundry basket after I put the hot towels in. I go to sleep in there on third shift. But I mean, I did all my duties, right? I loved it, and I remember the girls on first shift be like, can you not work so hard and do all the laundry because they expect us to do that on first shift? I'm like, well, boo, that's your problem. But I was so excited. That was my first real job. And I had a parole officer that's a whole nother episode. But like, she was pressuring me. She didn't like me working there. I don't know why. She said, I don't like you working there at all. If something happens, they're going to blame you. Okay. So I got that job. I lied on my application. I said no. And they hired me, and I'd been working there 3-4 months. And she goes, no, you need to tell them. On parole. You need to tell them I'm coming up there and telling them. So I tell my manager, and he was like, come in here and talk to me. And we were sitting by the pool, and he said, look, you're a great worker. You're a hard worker. I'm going to talk to corporate, and I'm going to see what I can do so that we can keep you. Girl, 2 nights later, I come in and look at the schedule, and my name wasn't on it. And I just sat back there and cried.
No phone call.
Well, the next morning he said, did you see the schedule? Come here, let me talk to you. He said, I did the best I could, but corporate said, if we keep you after you lied, then the next time somebody does that and we fire them, they're going to sue us. Like, it's a legality thing.
Yeah.
And I said, but if I'd have told you, you wouldn't have hired me. He said, chances are probably not.
Wow.
And it's like, well,
that happened to our friend Chanel. I mean, that happened to Peaches. She
Yeah.
got a job, had been working, doing everything she was supposed to, quit her other job.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came back and said no. And she told them, I don't really know how it happened. Like the background check was later in the process, or I don't know the full story. We'll have to have her on sometime to tell us. But yeah, it was really serious that you quit your job as a single mom.
Melissa did it too. She was working one place. They gave her another job when she went to Family Dollar to be the manager, and she was help setting up the store. And it was like 2 months or something in the background, didn't come back. And then they're like, oh yeah, you can't. And she's like, no, she sued them.
Yeah.
Well, see,
She was like, hell no.
This is the thing. Like I told y'all, when I first got out, I had 3 jobs. I had home health care. I worked at Denny's as a cook, and I work at Kirkland's.
You went from working in the kitchen, slinging them eggs at breakfast, to going to Denny's and slinging more eggs.
Yes.
Well, you were prepared.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, I left Denny's. Denny's didn't let me go. I left Denny's because it was so nasty back there. They had roaches everywhere. So I couldn't keep cooking these people food.
And this is our disclaimer. We cannot speak for every Denny's.
No, this is, I
Don't
can
say
actually,
which one.
no, I can actually tell you which one.
But there is one.
I did speak to the manager. Me and her talked. And I was like, I can't cook these people food in this grease because this grease is already burnt up. We don't have any grease. Well, you need to go to the store, either buy some or borrow from another Denny's because they can do that. But she never would. So, long story short, I told her, hey, I'm sorry. I can't do this no more. I'm giving my 2-week notice. And she was like, you can? I said, yes, I can. I said, because it's not like I didn't call and talk to you. We didn't talk face to face. I can't do it because you got big old water bugs running everywhere and food. I mean, hey, I took pictures. Hey, call me a whistleblower or whatever. I took pictures and called they corporate.
In prison, they call that a dry snitch.
Well, guess what? I've never been a snitch. But when it comes to people eating food,
yes, you're right.
And it comes with a price of somebody's health.
How did that kitchen compare? And this is off subject, but compared to the kitchen at the Dr. Lane Murray unit where you was reporting for work at 1 a.m. to get breakfast started?
Was like
they running neck to neck.
They running
neck to neck. It doesn't matter.
Better.
Sewage was coming out of Lane Murray's kitchen. Drains in the flow. You got to clean up, try to clean up. Then you got some people that don't like cleaning up. So that's a whole nother story within itself.
I want to touch on this really quick because this is a great point, Rayanne. It really angers me that the schools turn down someone because they have a record. Well, you're talking about education, and it's just now clicking to me that that's what you're talking about, higher education. I'm thinking about getting turned down to go on my nephew's field trip. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, honey. They told me I could not go to the zoo with that kindergarten class. Baby, I cried. It hurt my little heart.
I know it.
I just felt like we were trying to give our babies an opportunity to have everything maybe that they had been missing for a little while. And it hurt. It hurt. Man. But you're right. And education's a whole nother story.
Let me expound on that. Because when I got out, I went to TCC, and I am enrolled in TCC.
Texas Community College.
And I take online courses, but I was also approved for my FAFSA. I can't say that they denied me because they approved me for my 22-23 FAFSA, and they approved me for my 23-24 FAFSA.
I got approved for my FAFSA.
FAFSA?
Yeah, that too. And
it depends on what institution you try to apply. So you could be.
I went to CCC. I even told Marci they might have what you got there. It might not be exactly what you want, but they have it there, and they don't deny you. I mean, my auntie literally took me down there, first of all, in person. I had to take my GED down there. I had to take all my credits that I had to them so they can see where I went to school at, you know, how far my grades was or whatever. But I went from there to the counselor, from the counselor to the financial aid. And then
But if you get your associates and try to go to Sam Houston's going to say, we're running a background check and you're not coming here.
Well, I would never go that far.
I'm not going to Huntsville.
We're not going
That's too close to.
We ain't going to Gatesville.
That's
we ain't
too
going
close to prison
Huntsville.
for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay away from that place, but I do want to go back.
Yeah.
To be honest with y'all, I do want to go back to speak to the people,
Mhm.
not to go back because I'm in trouble.
Right. Well, some doors might open
You know,
up in that area. So, Jen, what about people with felony backgrounds opening their own businesses? Are there restrictions on that?
I mean, it depends on if you have a business that requires some type of license that you're not allowed to have. You know, I know that they've worked on legislation to open up licensing to include more people and not be hindered by criminal background checks. But it depends on the industry, right? Like, but for the most part, as an independent business owner, and like y'all said earlier, a lot of people that get out of prison that are self-made, they are entrepreneurs, right? Like, you made your social media stuff, like Peaches does her t-shirts and her designs. Like, we all have our hustle, right? We created a nonprofit, you know, and so it's kind of like, it feels like at the end of the day, all we have is us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
well,
You're right.
I do have a story about that.
About starting your own business?
Yes.
Okay. Come with it.
Shout out to Keisha Spears.
Yes.
Everybody know Jazz.
Yes.
Jazzy. Everybody know her. She received her nails license.
Mm,
She can have that business on the side, and she is a tax preparer,
yeah.
and she have that license.
Do you know, we know a few. Joy Brimby has
Yes.
a tax business.
Yes.
And you know what? Kipo, she's
Kipo got her
business.
own beauty shop. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tutu has a tax preparation. Yes. You got quite a bit of ex-felons who have started their business, and shout out to all of them because I'm so proud of them. Fruity. Everybody know Pamela Harris. They call her Fruity.
Yeah. That's just
Baby, let me tell you something.
Yeah, she
Let me
got her
tell
own
you
business.
something.
Well, you want me to put it on
Yeah,
here?
no,
Show me.
Okay.
Show
Bye,
me.
Denise. Bye,
Mm-mm.
not you, honey.
I know. Let me see.
not this.
Let me see.
No, it just it's tacky. You can
Let
see
me
it.
see.
We have a heckler, and sometimes I'm not taking it off. I'm trying to see what else we got going. We
Can
have
I
a
address
heckler.
that?
No, please. I've already blocked her, so she can't hear it. Yeah, we have a heckler that sometimes hops on
Where's
here
my phone?
that we
Where's
have
my
to take
phone?
care of. and now Denise want to get off the show so she can go get on her phone and get on YouTube and look her up. But anyways,
We put,
yeah,
up,
No,
with, we put up with that lady too many times.
Yeah.
And that was
The-
it.
yeah.
The thing of the matter about the whole situation, see, the old me would have just stopped the show and just cussed her out. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Anybody knew how I was in prison. I did not play with people. Don't come to me sideways. It is what it is. But God has worked in my life tremendously, and I have changed for the better. So, with that being said, yes, I would have texted her and told her something, but it would have been in a godly way. So,
Wow.
with that being said, I don't like that because things that we talk about, things that we go through, people don't know the mental struggle it is inside that prison, and to come out here and deal with negativity.
Yeah.
It's just like it puts you back in the realm of this was going on in prison.
Especially in this setting where we're like talking about ways that we've been completely defeated in
Right.
life. Like we're
all the barriers and the way that we're stigmatized and the way that we can't get past our past, right? And then you have comments on here about people's offenses or their types of crimes or no,
right.
you know, no,
We're not doing that
We're not
here.
doing that here.
So
You
We're not
know,
doing that here.
we are not nobody's judge. We only have one judge in our life, and that's God. And no sin is greater than the other. And regardless to what you did, it's not our place to judge you. But it's not our place to beat you down either. We're trying to uplift everybody's spirits.
Everybody.
Don't care what
All
you did.
inclusive.
I don't care what you were accused of doing. A lot of people have offenses that, we both know they didn't even do it.
Yeah.
Or the
lots.
situation wasn't even what it was made out to
Right.
be.
Right.
You know
When one person say one thing and then you pass it on down to 10 other people, by the time you get to the last person, it changed to a whole different story.
Well, let's talk about some other barriers and the way we overcome them, because one thing we know, a lot of people with felony backgrounds that have rose above. I mean, we see it. I think that's our mission as members of Lioness, is to pull people up and empower the people coming behind us. We know lots that are very successful, homeowners, the whole thing, right? So what do they do? How do you overcome that, Toon? Like, how do you?
Y'all help me overcome. If I didn't have y'all, if I didn't have Britt or Lori, if I didn't have our community of women, like y'all said, we've seen each other at our worst, at our best. We make mistakes, we learn, we grow. If it wasn't for this community of women and men too, in my space, in my life, there's no way I'd be successful. Yes, it was my family and my brother and a foundation. But there were times when I wanted to say, fuck all of this. I can't do this. It's y'all that helped me succeed.
You were working at Goodwill.
Yep.
You were working at Subway, both jobs.
It was Alexa that I did all that time with, and I called
on a monitor.
And I said, I can't do this. She said, Jennifer, I've never heard you this miserable, and I knew you in prison. And I said, you're sure right. Hung up, drove off, and had faith in God that something better was in store for me. So it's truly, honestly, the number one thing is y'all.
And I want to, and no doubt your higher power contributed to that, right? Mm-hmm. But you didn't just drive off and have faith and do nothing.
Correct. Like, I was writing articles. I was connecting to people. I was, I was putting myself out there. I had written several articles and essays, and I applied at several places for the Hog Fellowship, through UT at several organizations. And I just put it out there and said, Lord, it's in your hands. But I know making sandwiches and taking out the trash and those people telling me that's all I was worth to be trusted with, fuck them.
Right.
And so the encouragement through that process, Diane calling me every day, like, Toonchi, it's okay. Like, you can do this. Like, I survive every day because of y'all. And I mean that, like, from the inside to the outside, it is the number one key to my success is our community. I get very passionate about it because I know emotionally and mentally where I'd be without y'all.
Oh, for sure.
For real. Like,
all of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
100%. How can we? I mean, you just can't express somebody
being able. You didn't answer me last night.
What?
I checked on you through Marci.
Why she not answering the phone?
I said,
you called me at midnight.
No, that wasn't at midnight.
When I got up, it said 4 hours ago, and I got up at 3.
No. I called her at like 10:30. Then I called you. She didn't answer because I had a question and I was stuck.
Like, and Mandy watching, she's like, Jennifer don't ever answer the phone. But no, I text her in the morning and I says, everything okay? I didn't want to call you at 4.
So Denise, who was incarcerated at 15 and did 33 and a half years, had never been on an airplane. And here we are in Philadelphia. So last night she was stressing.
I was. I had never been on a plane, y'all. And I didn't know what to do. I called Jennifer and Marci. Nobody answered the phone. Then early this Marci come texting me. Then I was like, good morning. And threw a whole bunch of questions.
You're worried about that bag. What to put in that bag?
No, I knew what to put in it. I was just saying.
You were just nervous?
When I read on the thing, it says, no luggage. Then it said, I clicked on this page. I don't know what I
said,
clicked
baby, you
on.
don't
It
have
said
luggage. You're not
$35.
checking
It
luggage.
said $35.
She
I
said
was like,
$36. She said, where am I supposed to put my
36 or something?
clothes?
Yeah,
She
I was
asked me,
like, what?
where am I supposed to carry my clothes? I was going to tell her, put them all on. Like,
Hey, but that's why, y'all, if y'all didn't see how Marci posted my panties on social media.
Oh my
earlier,
God.
well,
Why'd
here's
she
the
do
thing.
that?
I'll tell you what, for those of you who would like the full context of that story.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
They are.
We walked into the hotel room where Brittany, my wife, and Toonchi already were. And I walk in, and there is a pair of wet panties hanging up
On the lampshade.
I said, oh, this is too much. This is too
Oh,
much.
man. And she said, I'm going to take a picture of this and post it. And I was like, nah. But she really did. She did.
I truly did.
Mhm.
You should know by now that when I say I'm posting it, baby, it's
We were
going
in
online.
Houston, and she took a picture of my little bag, remember? In front of her luggage, in my little bitty little bag.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I took a picture of you dancing with that cowboy.
Hey. Everybody don't know that.
Yes, we are here. We are here to inspire and lift people up and share information. And why do we do this podcast? Because I think a lot of people hear about what happens in men's prisons and men's experiences. And when we're looking to connect with women sharing their experiences, especially in Texas, there was a big hole.
There was just a big
Yeah.
void, no representation at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Eric is someone that, what they call it in Georgia? A returning citizen.
Yeah.
A returning citizen. 3 years have been home and is now a homeowner. We're so proud of Eric, a huge supporter.
Yay, Eric.
So
Heard from you earlier.
And that's Shaquille Oatmeal. Faith without works is dead.
It
Right.
is. It is.
You got to do your part.
Without faith, it is dead. Only a little mustard seed.
Eric, we see you. Thank you. Linus has gave me more courage than before I got out. And then Lisa's asking, do you think that men also struggle with the employment issue?
Oh, for sure. Right.
They
I think it's a
struggle.
little different, right? Because they had all them vocational.
Yeah, they got a lot of vocational classes that they don't offer women. I do know that they can get their CDL license there. They can get more. They'll offer more stuff. I guess because it's more of them and not enough women. Just before I came home, the Strive program had offered us forklifting. And I got my forklifting license. That's the only way the women was getting it if you're going through Strive. But you have to be locked up for a certain amount of years, over 20 years, in order to get in this class, because it's to reintegrate you back into society. It teaches you how to work computers.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to do job interviews, and you do get real job interviews. You are dressed in free wear shirts. So when you do a virtual interview, your shirt up is what they show. You talk to them on the phone. I mean, basically, you get what you are supposed to have now, because when I first came to prison, they wasn't offering that. They wasn't even letting you in classes.
So we need to point out for sure, we're really happy with the Strive program and the women that it helps.
Yes, it helped a lot.
But we need to talk about that there are 9,000 women incarcerated in Texas, and a handful every 6 months gets this opportunity to go to this program. And I mean, a handful, like 20, right? How many people were in your class?
Actually, no, it's 2 dorms.
Yeah,
it's 2 dorms.
It?
It's
Okay.
A and B. So one class go in the evening, one class go in the morning. But whatever class you don't take in the morning, that class takes.
So 60?
Yeah.
60 women?
What it's like.
And then 30, how long is the class?
33 bunks in a dorm.
Okay.
So 66 people.
And how long is the class?
90 days.
So 3 months.
Yeah.
60 times 4.
You get to take your surf safe. You get to
250 people a year.
Yeah.
250 people a year.
And that's if they make the cut. Because if they get kicked out,
Well,
They
there
go
are
to a normal dorm.
9,000 women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, 250.
So
Yes,
let's do
let's
this
do
program
Well,
at every unit
Right.
Yeah.
for
But-
everybody.
The original person that started, shout out to Warden Nelson. She started it after she retired. She came back into the system and started it. Now she's retired fully, and I don't know who took over her place. But anybody that's interested and they need to know the ins and outs, the odds, ends, they need to contact Mountain View and ask for what's the lady name? The one that worked with her.
Is it in education?
No, she's part of the.
I mean, it's not through Wyndham. Strive is not through
Mm-mm.
Wyndham.
No,
It's
Strive
through,
is
rehabilitation.
So
Yeah.
go ahead and just message Chris
matter of
Carter.
fact, parole.
Yeah.
Parole takes part in that too.
Mhm.
The Right Cause Urban Youth Conservation, which is from my hometown, Fort Worth, Dallas, DFW. From our shout out. They do good works, and they're asking, how was your first flight?
My first flight was kind of scary, y'all, because I had never been on a plane. But I sit in the middle seat and put my headphones on, prayed, and I was all right. Had a little bit of turbulence, but I was okay. It was good.
You have a window seat on the flight back. How is that going to be?
I don't know. I haven't looked
Are you
out the
going to
window
look out
yet.
the window?
You have to, don't you see
You
how when
do
you take
have
off,
to.
you have to watch, and then when you lift, it's pretty exciting and
Okay.
scary. Yeah.
I'm
It
about to-
is a
You'll
little
love it.
scary, but a lot.
especially for me because I've never been on a plane my entire life.
Mhm.
I've never been out of Texas my entire life, so this is
You're
all
doing
new
it with
to me.
us.
Yeah.
This is all new to me. Like I told Marci, I said, Marci, you getting my first everything because this is all new.
Well, you went to the beach without me. You had a beach trip. I saw
Oh,
the pictures.
Yes,
Oh,
my-
really?
I did. My best friend came and got me from work and said I had 15 minutes to go pack a bag. I said,
Come
where are we
on.
going? I said, how you know I don't work tomorrow? She said, because you had already told me your schedule, so don't want to hear that. Go get, and I didn't know she was coming to pick me up for work. Go get your bag and let's go. And we did. We went overnight and we stayed there till the next night. Yeah.
All I
It was
can
pretty
imagine
awesome.
is that Medea movie when she went on the plane. But I do want to tell you, I'm fixing to tell on you while when you get on the plane, y'all, and you've got your little app on the phone that's got your wallet, it's got your boarding pass, and it's pulled up, and you know how when there's like 5 people back, you're like, okay, I got my pass ready, and you're just kind of waiting. Well, let me tell you about Denise Cherry. She's on the phone, baby. She is yapping, and we
That's because 2 people called me before, right as I was at the terminal and walking in. 2 people called me.
And then I'm up. I scan mine, and there's always, because it's her first flight, I scanned it and then thought, what if something happens and they don't let her on, or so I'm like going, oh, you getting me? You give me the side eye.
Marci's messy.
She gets up there and she says, I kind of slow down and look back, and I hear her, hold on, ma'am, with these nails. Hold on, ma'am. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, hold on. Hold on. I need to show this lady my pat. I said, girl, this Denise Cherry is something else.
Wait, Jen, I promise you, I was not on the phone before we started boarding. 2 people called me after Sean called me. And then who else did call me? Somebody else called me, and I was like, "Hey, Shaquin."
Uh-huh.
I said, "Hey, y'all, let me call y'all back because I got to go through this terminal." But Sean kept talking, and I kept saying, "Okay, I'm getting ready to go through this."
And then we're walking through that what is that connector that connects the plane
To the plane.
Yeah, the little
and we're
tunnel.
walking through, and she calls him back and says, "Why did you hang up?" I said,
God.
Denise, let's get on this plane.
You're so messy. Oh,
You can't trust Marci to keep nothing to herself. She get up here and look. She showed everybody my drawers. Denise, that's
no,
how messy
no.
she
Wait
is.
a minute.
Eric, that's
Denying
not,
Bam access to the journalist.
that's not a journalist, honey. That's not a journalist. So he doesn't have media rights for that.
Look, we got all quiet.
Yeah.
What is that talking about?
Didn't you say a couple weeks ago that after the wedding night, Toonchi and Britt were not supposed to be hanging out? Thank you, Crystal, for reminding
Crystal,
me.
you're a snitch.
Yeah.
Well, me and Brittany wouldn't hung out today waiting on the girls to get off from the airport. We went to the Eastern Penitentiary and
Yeah, they saw
Al Capone's
Capone's cell, his
Yeah.
cigar.
Yeah. And just took pictures and sent them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They had all kinds of fun while we was having a layover in Atlanta. And yeah.
And you were mad about the Uber and
Yeah.
you were scary. Did you hear her while she was yelling?
You
at
can
me
take
and
the
Brittany?
women out of the penitentiary, but you can't take the penitentiary out of the women.
Well, I mean,
Who said
This
that?
is true. Anthony said
Uh-huh.
that. Anthony. What you got to say? Anthony's a pretty good guy.
I just want to know who
knows.
said that.
Yeah, in Georgia, that's a lot of reentry folks. That's how they refer, is returning citizen.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll hear formerly incarcerated folks from Georgia say, "I'm a returning citizen."
Yeah, but Marci, why you telling it on me? Did you tell the people?
So
how
guys,
you got hangry? How you got hangry and start screaming through the phone?
Yeah, me and Brittany were passing the phone back and forth. You know, talk to her. I don't know what to
I'm
do.
in the background laughing. She talking about. I said,
I'm pissed off
yeah,
right now. Y'all.
yeah,
That's how I said it.
yes.
That's
That's
how I said
now
it.
how you said it was. I'm fucking pissed off right now.
God damn. And she said, Brittany was like, did the ground transportation? I don't see any goddamn ground transportation.
Listen, and Carrie said, at least I didn't miss the plane, but I want to tell you something. My nerves were a little bad because it was Donisa's first time to fly, and I'm a last minute airport kind of gal.
She is.
And I tried my best this morning to get going.
Y'all
earlier.
remember Cole's trip when she missed the flight because she was going to Cole's?
What? I needed an outfit. I needed an outfit for court.
You don't pick it the morning
At
you're
the-
driving to the airport.
At all. You picked the night before.
Listen,
God.
y'all stop picking on me.
Oh, girl, now. Oh, okay.
And then here's Carrie. I
Yep.
know someone who was
Was
at
at
Cole's.
Cole's.
You know me, Carrie. Next time I'm in the Galveston area, honey, we're gonna talk. Are you related to any San Antonio cherries? Is all your family in Fort Worth?
I don't know. I would have to ask my grandmother.
It's a pretty unique name.
It is, and we have quite a bit of family everywhere.
Do you have a cherry tattoo?
No,
Just
just to be yet seen. But how about you?
you have some prison tattoos.
I have a lot of prison tattoos.
You have any girls' names on you?
Of course,
I got a girl's name on me. Too.
of course. I have Rebecca's name. On
I
it.
got Brittany's name right here.
What? Y'all got booty tattoos.
We got them
I
together.
had mine. You can't see it. You see that little patch of skin?
How did it get off?
Where it go to? It fade to black or
No,
white.
baby, my friend scrubbed this with a wet washcloth until it just burned off.
Oh no,
It just bled and then it was plasma.
Have you
Don't
ever
Yeah,
seen
of course I
anybody
got prison
use salt and
tattoos.
ice to burn their tattoo off with salt and ice?
Yeah.
Have you?
That burns your skin.
Yeah.
Well,
You burns
yeah,
it
they burn
off.
their tattoos off. They get mad at their girlfriend.
Oh, ain't that
And
much
they-
burning in the world?
You
But I'll
remember
tell
the
you
ones
what,
that do
I
the
got this
curly
one.
I
hair?
worked in the kitchen one day, and I'm at work, and I'm not going to say her name, but I love you and your honey. I don't know if y'all are together now or what, but you had a tattoo on your finger, and you came in, and that grill was hot, and you said, "I need eyes." And I said, "Okay." I'm looking, thinking it's going to be a fight. That's usually what that's for. So I'm like looking for the law, but also looking for the other person. Like, who are we fighting? And she walked over to that grill and went,
Just
and you
burned.
could you smelt it.
Oh
you
my
heard it. You
God.
heard it. You smelled it. Smelled like burning flesh. And she just did it like a freaking G. She did, and then she went right on over
Somebody
there.
start the hunger strike
Yeah.
today.
Uh,
Yeah.
No, they're talking about started
Replying to
my
Eric, I just started my
Yes.
hunger strike
yes.
today.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Well, ladies, it's
they're teasing us. Y'all are just teasing us in the comments now.
Look, see, Anthony, what a
Tucci
good
is so
guy.
cool. Oh,
That's
I
what
mean,
everybody
I-
thinks.
Tucci is precious.
Yes.
Tucci is precious.
That's not the word I would.
Tony loves me more than you.
Tucci is precious, y'all. She is.
Guys, we're at our hour.
Oh, now
Oh.
we're at the hour.
We're
Yeah.
at
Oh,
our
now
hour.
we at the
Let
hour.
me get your shoes on.
And let me get this off of. Let me just get that comment right on off there. We will
Dirty
be
bitch.
live here Wednesday night, right? 1 week from tonight.
Yes.
7 p.m. Central Time. And you guys, thank you for hitting the share button. Thank you for liking, commenting. If you are listening to us wherever you hear your favorite podcasts, please leave us a review. Yeah, if you're on that cell phone, you can just tap, tap, tap. All those little
Tap
hearts
it.
go
That's
up.
right.
Tap it.
Yeah. Okay. my honey's over there trying to fall asleep, and we're trying to go look at Philly at night. So we're
gotta
trying
get
to
her
see
up.
what Philly is about.
Get that ass up.
Out with us on the Recyard Women's Prison Podcast with